What's up guys, Justin Greenwald here with 65drums.com. Today I'm talking about the Yamaha DTX430k. This is part of a line of drum sets they have. It's the Yamaha DTX400k, 430k, 450k. And for those of you that are desperately trying to figure out what the heck is the difference between all of those, the 400k doesn't have a kick drum tower. It just has a beaterless kick drum pedal. The 430k, which is the one I'm talking about, has the kick drum tower, and that's it. That's the only upgrade. And the 450k has a 3-zone snare. So the snare has, rim and then head and then also rim shot, since you can hit both zones at the same time. So that makes it a 3rd zone. That's the difference between those 3 kits right there. And I was walking into a Guitar Center and I stumbled across this drum set. I'd only played the first version, the 400 series. I'd never played the 430 or the 450 before. So it was interesting. I didn't know that this came in a version that had a kick drum tower. So I thought I'd make a dedicated video about this. So if you're shopping for around the $500–600 price point, this kit will pop up in your search results, and you're probably wondering whether or not it's any good. So I'm going to go over the hardware first and then talk about the drum module and the drum sounds second. So what do I think about the drum hardware? You've got 3 toms. Just your regular setup, 2 high toms, 1 floor tom. They're all 7.5 inches. The snare is also I believe it's the same pad. It's 7.5 inches. You've got 10-inch crash, ride, and hi-hat. Pretty large for an electronic drum set of this price point, which is great. However, it's got this weird moon-shaped cutout on the top of the cymbals. I really don't like that design choice. I think it looks kind of odd, but that's what they've gone with. These are very, very tough pads. I'm talking about the tom and the snare pads. Yamaha in general uses very, very tough rubber pads. So if I put them on a scale of all electronic drum set manufacturers, on this end of the spectrum, you've got Yamaha rubber pads. They're very, very tough. And over here, maybe like Alesis rubber pads. They're very, very soft. You've got like Cap Percussion, Roland, Cymbals, all those guys. So Yamaha makes very, very tough rubber pads. Great for durability, I love that, but some guys will not like how tough these rubber pads are, so it's up to you. As far as the cymbals, they are also very, very bouncy, but that's fine because, cymbal pads are trying to replicate metal cymbals, so they need to be a very, very hard surface. They're a lot better than the Alesis cymbals at this price point. The Alesis cymbals feel a little too, feel like they might break one day. These ones, even though they're thin and they look weird, they're very, very solid cymbals, and that's one of the high points of this drum set. And then you've got the drum tower. Apparently it can accommodate a double kick pedal. It's very, very small, but apparently it can accommodate a double kick pedal, and it does slide around. So since you're going to buy this for practice purposes anyway, just set your kit against a wall so that your kick drum doesn't slide around all over the place. Honestly, I didn't try to tighten the screws to make it stop sliding around, but yeah, that's just what I experienced when I was playing it. Let's talk about the module now. The module is this little rectangular box with no screen on it, just a ton of buttons. It's nice that you can just press kit 5 or kit 10 instead of having to press the forward button and scroll through all the kits inside the drum module. That's really great because you can quickly get to your kit that you want to get to a lot faster than you could on other drum modules. It's more powerful than like the Roland TD1K module because you can create your own custom kits and save them. You can save 10 user preset kits. You've got 10 kits to choose from. Also, there's a learning function in this. You can play to a click track, and then a voice will tell you after you're done playing whether or not you were actually playing on time, which is cool. They've got a bunch of different learning functions. They seem to be aiming this drum set towards beginner drummers. Makes sense. The problem with the drum module though is that it farms off some of the higher end editing capabilities to an app for either a smartphone or a tablet. You plug in a cable to the drum module, it connects to your smartphone or tablet, and then you can change the tuning and rearrange the sounds to make your own custom kits like I was talking about before. That's how you do it, I believe. I did not get a chance to use the app with this drum module, so I can't say much about it. And it is kind of cool how they're using an app on a smartphone to be able to edit the drum set. That's really, really cool. Yamaha is the only drum manufacturer that does this. I'm not going to include the Alesis DM dock in this discussion because that was not the greatest piece of gear of all time. So Yamaha is the only drum manufacturer that currently uses apps to control the drum module to change settings inside of it. I wish more drum manufacturers did that. Roland has a couple of apps, but they don't have anything to do with what's changing inside the drum module. They're all about recording or playing against friends or stuff. I love that there's an app. The only thing is those capabilities should be in the drum module itself. You should be able to tune the drum set in the drum module. You shouldn't need to connect to an iPad. And this is the other problem with the app. Half of the population of the world won't be able to use the app because it's only for iOS. So only Apple products. I have an iPhone, I have an iPad, so it would be great for me. But half of the people out there have Android devices. And Yamaha is not the only company to only offer iOS apps for their drums. Roland does the same thing. If you have an Android device, you can't use any Roland apps, at least last I knew. So yeah, the thing is they farm out some of the responsibilities of what the drum module is there to do to an app. And then they only allow the app to be on Apple devices. I'm going to play some kit examples for you guys from the drum module and then talk a little bit about what I think of the sounds. So that's what the drum module sounds like. They're nothing to write home about though. Some of the kits are kind of cool though. Of course, the Birch custom kit and the Maple custom kit are probably the favorites of anyone who plays Yamaha drums. But at the same time, they're not quite as good as the Roland TD1K drum sets, although you do have more control over those sounds in this Yamaha app and drum module together. So yeah, for practice purposes, but nothing to write home about. One interesting feature in this drum module that I didn't talk about was the fact that this drum module can play MIDI songs. And you get 10 practice MIDI songs to play around with, and you can mute the drums and then either listen to how the drummer did it and then mute them so you can play along. Or you can go to a Yamaha website and download MIDI song tracks to be played on your drum module. Well, the example they had was they had Tom Sawyer by Rush being played on the drum module. And so that would be a set of MIDI instructions that gets sent to the drum module. The MIDI instructions tell the synthesizers, basically it's a little synthesized keyboard inside that drum module that plays the song based on the instructions coming from the website. And those MIDI songs are stored onto your drum module, so you don't have to keep it connected to your computer if you don't want to. So that was kind of cool how he could download those MIDI tracks and play to them in a drumless way. For beginners, that's great. That was one interesting feature that you don't hear about much when drum manufacturers are trying to find ways to make you want to buy their drum set. So taken as a whole, what do I think of this drum set? Could I recommend this drum set? Yes, I could recommend this drum set, but it's just really, really hard to, because the rubber pads are nothing to write home about. They're a decent size for this price point, but they're very, very tough rubber pads. The drum module is just decent. To unlock a lot of the features, you have to have an iPhone or an iPad and connect it to the drum module. Otherwise, you can't even use half the features that this drum module has. And I think that's very, very disappointing. You should have been able to do that in the drum module. You shouldn't have to rely on a second device to do that. And of course, I have to compare this to the competition. So if you were thinking between the Cat Percussion KT1 versus this Yamaha DTX430k, buy the Yamaha drum set. It's the superior drum set. I like the pads of the KT1, but the drum sounds are just awful. If I was comparing this against the Roland TD1K, I would have to say this is very, very hard, but I would buy the Yamaha DTX430k because it has a kick drum tower. And the Roland TD1K does not. Although the Roland sounds are better than this Yamaha drum set. And if I compare this Yamaha drum set against the Alesis Forge, the Yamaha drum set just falls apart because the Alesis Forge has a much better sound module with more sounds and more editing capabilities within the module itself. The pads go head to head very well against each other, I believe. I haven't been able to play the Alesis Forge yet. I played the step up from it. And the Alesis Forge is $100 less. The DTX430k is selling for about $600 right now, and I think that is insane, especially since you can buy the Yamaha DTX450k, which has the improved snare, for the exact same price. So they've priced this drum set too high. It being sold at $600 is a really, really bad idea. If it was priced at like $450, that would work out a lot better. If you're shopping for a drum set for like beginner use, go buy the Alesis Forge. The only problem is the Yamaha drum set does have a reputation for more durability than Alesis products. Alesis products usually die eventually. You can play them for a few years and then a bunch of pads stop working. But if you're a beginner and you're gonna climb the ranks and become better and better at drumming, you'll want to upgrade your set anyway later on. So for beginner purposes, I recommend buying the Alesis Forge. And yeah, much better deal. And I wouldn't be mad if you bought this drum set. Just, I feel like you could get a little more bang for your buck than buying this one. Hey, I hope that helped. Thank you so much for watching. I make a new video 1 to 2 times a week about electronic drums. Got my Facebook news on my Facebook page, drum covers on my Instagram page. Give this video a like if you liked it. It helps out my channel a lot. And I'll see you guys next video.